PALS training stands for Pediatric Advanced Life Support, and it covers a wide array of pediatric emergencies. It starts off with identifying which of the pediatric patients that we come across are very sick, and it emphasizes treatments for those patients.
We are on scene usually pretty fast, and those types of calls can be very stressful for the first responder. So if you have training in that and you're able to manage the scene, it makes the scene a lot more calm. And that in itself, that calmness on the scene can ultimately affect the overall outcome.
So having a PALS training every 2 years keeps paramedics current with treating the pediatric patients, because it's not very often that we get very sick children, but when we do, it's very important that we act quickly and act correctly, because you treat pediatric patients differently than adult patients, and keeping up with our training will prevent mistakes and come with better patient outcomes.
I think PALS is more in depth as far as the differences in the child and the adult, and especially the airway management, which is a pretty substantial difference. I mean, anatomically, the difference in a child's head compared to an adult, and I tell people all the time, take a child and take their hands and try to put their hands above their head, and you won't be able to do it. Their head is so much bigger than their body, and people forget that. And in terms of their airway, their tongue is a lot bigger in proportion to the airway, so it presents a lot of problems.
PALS is very specific to children. Children are very different than adults, even though sometimes they just look like big adults. Their medication dosages are different. One of the biggest differences, whenever you have a pediatric cardiac arrest patient, the #1 reason that children die from any type of incident is usually respiratory in nature, whether it be drowning, choking. Typically it's not a cardiac nature. Whenever you go to an adult patient who has died, typically if it's like a cardiac in nature, they could have had a heart attack, some sort of cardiac issue, a different rhythm that caused their heart to stop. Pediatric patient, typically it's going to be related to a respiratory issue. So managing pediatric patients, even before, if they do go into cardiac arrest, managing their airway appropriately, giving them the right medications, and interventions quickly prevents children from going into cardiac arrest.
Having training and being able to manage those problems is, like I said, it brings a lot of confidence to the scene. Ultimately, it helps calm everybody down, and if you have training in it and you know what you're doing.